Let's get it. 580 Sports Talk is live and direct on a Wednesday. And I double-checked this time. Happy Hump Day, one and all. Thanks for being with us. We're here until 6 o'clock on the Sports Voice of Kansas, 580 WIBW, FM 104.9, online at 580WIBW.com, and in living color on our YouTube stream, 580 Sports Talk, and our Facebook page, WIBW News. My name is Dan Lucero. I'm with you for the duration. Spencer Dupuy will be along in a bit. Brendan Dworzinski is off today. With you until 6 o'clock following Royals baseball. And, boy, that stunk, didn't it? 10-2, Cleveland puts it on the Royals in the rubber game at Progressive Field in Cleveland this afternoon. Game got away from the Royals late. Steven Cruz coughed up 5 runs in the bottom of the 8th inning. If you were still watching or listening at that point, at least you got to enjoy, if that's the word you prefer to use for such a situation, the sight of a position player pitching. Tyler Tolbert got a couple of outs. He did fine. Up there slinging 54-mile-an-hour gravity balls. Got chased a lotter out. Nobody's been able to figure out how to do that. Tyler Tolbert said, what if I just throw really slow? And he got him to ground into a double play. So that was fun. To a certain definition of the word. But not much else fun about that one, as the Royals will come home with a 5-7 record as they get set to take on the White Sox in a 4-game series at Kauffman Stadium starting tomorrow. Have plenty to say about that, and the ugliness, the twin ugliness today. Number one, Cole Reagan's going out in the first inning, 5 batters into his outing with a left thumb contusion. If you were listening to Matt Quatrero on the Royals Baseball Network postgame show, sounds like the Royals are pretty confident he's going to be okay. Just a bruise and swelling and numbness in a really bad spot for a pitcher to have a bruise and swelling and numbness. Right in the thumb. Not great. So he had to come out of the game, but it doesn't sound like it's going to be the kind of thing that costs him time, and that is obviously a big relief for the Royals. The other ugliness, the Royals at the plate strike out 28 times over the course of the last 2 days in back-to-back losses to the Guardians. And that is certainly out of character for a lineup that, as a whole, coming into this week, was not striking out at a well above average level, but or below average, as it were, but certainly did in the last 2 contests. So we'll talk a little baseball in the program today, but there's plenty more other stuff we're going to get to here today on 580 Sports Talk. It is a Wednesday after all. It's another edition of Mock Draft Wednesday. And we're going to do 2 things that are new on Mock Draft Wednesday today, coming up in the 4 o'clock hour. Number one, we're going to look at some trade possibilities. Great thanks to Bill Barnwell of ESPN.com for doing his all trades mock draft earlier this week. He had 4 trade proposals for the Chiefs. 2 where they would trade up. 2 where they would trade out of a first-round pick to acquire a veteran established player. We'll talk about if either of those scenarios are particularly likely and kind of rate the deals, the proposed deals. And also, I have my first mock draft of the cycle. Brendan's done one. Spencer's done one. I did a 3-round mock draft, and we'll give you my picks, at least where I stand right now, the direction I think that the Chiefs should go. So Mock Draft Wednesday is coming up. Also on the show today, our guest is Tim Fitzgerald, GoPowerCat.com. He'll join us at the bottom of the 4 o'clock hour for the Wildcat Wrap-Up, presented by Tallgrass Windows and Doors. Get Fitz's thoughts on Kansas State basketball's portal needs and portal departures, and also ongoing thoughts from K-State football's spring practice. That's all coming up with Tim Fitzgerald, publisher at GoPowerCat.com, the bottom of the 4 o'clock hour. And in the 5 o'clock hour today, America's leading Masters tout will make his picks for the tradition unlike any other, which begins tomorrow morning in Augusta. And, of course, by America's leading Masters tout, I am referring to me. I'm referring to myself. I have accurately predicted the last 3 Masters champions. I have done it. I'm on record. There exists audio proof of this. I gave you John Rahm in 2023. I gave you Scotty in 2024. I gave you Rory last year. I was a little skeptical that I might win the Fell For It Again award with Rory, but 3 for 3 picking the winner at the Masters. It's going to be tough to go 4 for 4, but I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to tell you in the 5 o'clock hour, not just who's going to win the Masters, but my other favorite prop bets for the weekend in Augusta. That's coming up later in the show. Plus, we'll do our typical Wednesday shenanigans. We'll play One Gotta Go in the 5 o'clock hour. We got our 580 Sports Talk headlines of the round of What Is Wrong With You as well. You are, as always, invited and encouraged to be part of the show today. You can text the program, 785-272-9429. That's 785-272-9429. You can also interact if you're watching the show on our live YouTube stream. Again, we are at 580 Sports Talk on YouTube. Go subscribe to the channel. We're doing a lot more YouTube shorts lately. So if you're subscribed, you get a notification. We put up a short, and you can check those out. In addition to knowing when we go live every day. Like today would have been a good day. If you were subscribed, you would have known exactly when we went live. We were scheduled to go, obviously, at 3:05. That got backed up due to the Royals game. But when we go live, notifications will let you know. And you can be on time to join the chat. Mark H., Vance, Andrew, Christopher, David in the chat today. I think that's everybody so far. And a lot of people were in early. We appreciate you guys hopping in and hope that more of you join the chat as we go along here on 580 Sports Talk. Last bit of business before we continue. Got to get you a keyword. The Win 1K a Day sweepstakes continues on today. And you can register for a chance to win $1,000 by texting this hour's keyword to 272-785-272-9429. And the keyword this hour is spend. Spend. S-P-E-N-D. Spend. As in, how are you going to spend that $1,000 that you win after you text the word spend? Just the keyword. Don't need to add anything else. Just text the keyword to 785-272-9429. Just need to do it once per hour. That keyword is good for another 32 minutes until 4 o'clock. And then the 4 o'clock hour, I'll give you another one. But text that keyword. You can text all the keywords throughout the day. You can register once per keyword. Then at the end of the day, we'll pick a $1,000 winner. Win 1K a day from your friends at 580 WIBW. Again, that keyword is spend, S-P-E-N-D. Well, that Royals game was a drag. 10-2, the final. Cleveland blew it open late. Never really felt like the Royals were going to be competitive in the game after Cleveland scored 3 in the first and added 1 on Luinder Avila early on, and Avila was in the game because Cole Reagans was not in the game. And it was a huge bummer because the first 2 batters of the game for Cleveland made it very clear that Cole Reagans had the good stuff today. He had the good fastball today. He had the good command today. He painted with back-to-back called third strikes to the first 2 hitters of the game. And I'm watching and thinking, oh, baby, we got Cole Reagans in fine form today in cold weather. He's going to have his way with this Cleveland lineup. They're lefty heavy, so they got a bunch of right-handers in, aren't as good as their left-handers. This could be a good day for Cole Reagans. And then the third batter, Jose Ramirez, noted Royal and everyone else killer. I mean, there's a reason he's going to the Hall of Fame. Hits a line drive that hits Reagans in the pad of the hand. A left thumb contusion causes Reagans to leave the game 2 batters after that. In reality, he probably should have left the game immediately, but I understand, number one, you're a starting pitcher. It's your day to throw. You want to be out there. Number 2, you're trying to save the bullpen because you know you got 4 straight games against Chicago coming before your next off day. Number 3, you just started dominating. Feel like you got your good stuff. You want to stay out there. Number 4, maybe you think, and I'm sure this was part of Reagan's thought process, just like it was part of the Royals' thought process, that maybe as he throws, adrenaline will kick in, he'll be able to make it work. He could not make it work. He threw 5 straight pitches out of the strike zone, and the one he did throw in the strike zone was a 94-mile-an-hour fastball that was up that Chase DeLauder banged for a 2-run double. And that was all for Ragans. And seeing him leave the game early, even though, again, big sigh of relief, doesn't sound like it's anything serious, nothing is broken. I would expect at this point Ragans to be able to make his next scheduled start, which would be next Tuesday. He's got the day off ahead of his next scheduled start. But it just makes you realize, again, how fragile pitching is and how fragile the idea of pitching depth is. One of the reasons that I am optimistic, and look, I'm not changing my priors based on 12 games, even if they haven't been great, even if it's a 5-7 start. I'm not trying to sugarcoat the last 2 games in particular have been gross, offensively particularly. But I'm not coming off my priors 12 games in. That's too early. My priors this year were I like the Royals' chance to contend because I felt like they had assembled really good starting pitching depth. Well, I felt that way at the start of spring training. And Stephen Kolek got hurt. He's not back on a mound yet. And Bailey Falter got hurt. He's on the 15-day IL, had an injection in his elbow. Ben Caderna's on the AAA IL. That recently happened. And also last night, Ryan Bergert, in case you missed this, left the AAA game for Omaha after just 31 pitches with a trainer mid-inning. Luinder Avila's on the roster right now, but he's needed in long relief and ended up being needed today. There's your starting pitching depth at the high minors and on the big club, and they're dropping like flies. And it's April 8th. And the lesson there is, once you think you have enough, you don't. You never do. And that's what's scary about pitching, about a team that is leaning on its pitching the way that the Royals, A, are capable of, and B, are going to. It's a house of cards. Because pitcher health is such a fragile thing. I'm just disappointed we didn't get to see a full outing from Ragans because he did. Guys, he had the good stuff. I'm telling you, if you were just listening along or you missed the early part of the game and you turn the radio on to third and you hear Avila's in the game and Ragans is hurt, you panicked and I don't know, drove to the liquor store or whatever. I'm telling you, Ragans was primed to be awesome today, and it didn't happen because of the injury. I thought Avila did fine in relief. He's getting into too many deep counts. A lot of 3-2 counts, a lot of 3-1 counts. That's from being a young pitcher, live-armed, a little bit wild. He'll settle that down. His stuff is good. He's got to trust his stuff a little more. But that was a decent job in a tough spot. Alec Lang came in and had to give some length, and that's not easy because he's usually a short burst reliever. But he took one for the team today and did fine. And Steven Cruz, another guy, short burst reliever. He's a one-inning guy. They tried to stretch him for a second inning, and he gave up 5 runs. But here's the thing about that 5-run inning. Yes, it was capped off by the grand slam from Angel Martinez. That was a big swing. But the swings that got the ball rolling for Cleveland in that inning were a bloop single and a seeing eye and a pair of seeing eye singles, really. One was hit harder than the other, but it's not like Cruz was getting hit with great authority to start the inning. But contact gives you a chance. You know what doesn't give you a chance? Not making contact. Striking out 14 times. 14 of your 27 outs, you're not even giving the defense a chance to make a mistake. You're not giving the wind a chance to knock a ball down in fair territory. You're not giving the ball a chance to get a bad hop. You don't have a chance for anything good to happen if you can't put the ball in play. And this is a Royals team, by and large, that is good at putting the ball in play. Has been anyway. The last 2 days, they have not been. They struck out 28 times over the last 2 games. And look, again, you have to give credit to the other team's pitcher. Those guys practice and get paid too. Joey Cantillo had a really, really good changeup today. An exceptional changeup. The only other left-hander who gets more swings and misses at his changeup in baseball, other than Cantillo, is Cole Ragans. So we're talking like that's an elite changeup. And it looked like an elite changeup today. I think 6 of his 9 strikeouts were on the change. But the Royals didn't even give themselves a chance to build an inning on weak contact like Cleveland did in the 8th because they didn't make hardly any contact. I'm not of the belief that this is going to be a long-term trend. I'm not. The Royals did not come into this week as a team that is considered, I think, particularly strikeout prone. But they were strikeout prone the last 2 days, and it made for a very gross 2 days of baseball. We'll take our first break here on 580 Sports Talk. When we come back, we'll get some of your reaction. Text lines open, 785-272-9429. You can also comment on our live stream on YouTube, 580 Sports Talk. Also this hour, some thoughts on the NCAA proposing major changes to eligibility rules, including age limits, which have never been in place in the NCAA before. Plus, we got Mock Draft Wednesday. We got Tim Fitzgerald. We got America's leading Masters tout, me in the 5 o'clock hour making Masters picks. We got a lot of show until 6 o'clock today. We're glad you're along at 580 Sports Talk. .339 on 580 Sports Talk. We're just getting started. Bit of a late start following that Royals loss in Cleveland today. I'll throw out another reminder. The keyword for our Win 1K a Day sweepstakes for this hour is SPEND, S-P-E-N-D. Text the word SPEND to 785-272-9429. Just the word. Just need to text that word, SPEND, nothing else. And you'll be registered for your chance to win $1,000, courtesy of your friends at 580 WIBW. Some thoughts on the Royals loss today. MPM cuts right to the quick in the YouTube live chat. Striking out 28 times in 2 days is ridiculous. It is. It is. And it speaks to one of the things I think that I was a little concerned about going into the year for this lineup. Because I talked yesterday about the Royals as a team have a good sense of the strike zone. They have a good sense of what is a strike and what is not, and how to stay off of pitches outside the strike zone. They got top 10 chase rate in baseball. Even today, most of the pitches they're getting beat on are pitches in the strike zone, which makes it all the more frustrating. But guys know the strike zone, and guys don't chase. There's a lot of guys in this lineup that don't chase. Well, that's a useful skill unless pitchers just fill the strike zone against you because they don't think you can beat them. And so for guys like Isaac Collins, who's not a big power guy, for guys like Jonathan India, for guys like Lane Thomas, it's great that those guys aren't going to swing outside of the strike zone. But like I said yesterday's show, you have to do damage on the pitches inside the strike zone. If you can't do that, then what good is the skill of knowing when not to chase? You don't make the most of that skill. It's a good skill to have. It's a very good skill to have. If you were to give me 10 hitters with just 10 random hitters that have above average chase rates, which means they swing out of the strike zone more often, and 10 hitters with below average chase rates, I'd take the below average chase rate guys sight unseen. But like Salvador Perez is a way above average chase rate guy, and he's got 300 home runs, right? Because you do damage in the strike zone. And the Royals have not done enough damage in the strike zone, and certainly didn't do any damage in the strike zone over the last couple of days. Text from the 913 points out that not only did the Royals strike out 36 total times in the series, they also gave away a pair of outs on the bases, had 2 guys picked off. I think both of these things are true. I feel like the Royals are a better base stealing team early this season than they were last year, but I don't think and I think they might even be a better like first to third base running team. They've actually talked about trying to optimize that. There was, I think it was Ann Rodgers, MLB.com wrote about that, maybe after Monday's game. But still too many airhead outs given away on the bases. And this isn't such a good offensive team that you can afford to just give outs away left and right. So, yeah, that is a problem. The pickoffs are a problem. I think the base stealing actually has improved for this group. I think their aggressiveness on the base pass, I think is fine. I'm not seeing guys run their way into a lot of outs. I know Bobby got gunned down at home on Sunday at home against, who were they? Milwaukee. But there haven't been a lot of instances where the Royals are running themselves directly into outs on the base pass. But pickoffs, yeah, you're falling asleep at the wheel. Text from the 785 says, at least there was Bobby sighting. He finally had an extra base hit today. He did. Doubled to left center, drove in Kansas City's first run of the game. It was good to see Bobby find a gap. Again, there are guys, it's probably really just this simple for the Royals lineup. Bobby's not going yet, and Vinny's not going yet, and Salvy's not going yet. That's 2, 3, 4. And none of those guys is hitting the way you would expect. Salvy's got a couple of dingers. Vinny's still waiting on his first. Bobby just got his first extra base hit today. It might just be that simple. I mean, those guys have to produce. But just to give you an idea of how early we are in all of this, I'm going to give you 4 names. Okay? I'm going to give you 4 names, and I want you to think about what these names might have in common. 4 names. Andy Pages of the Los Angeles Dodgers. Ryan O'Hearn of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Joey Wiemer of the Washington Nationals. And T.J. Rumfield of the Colorado Rockies. I've given you 4 names. And no, the thing in common is not they were all Royals one time. O'Hearn was, and Wiemer was at AAA last year. But no, that's not the tie that binds here. What do those 4 people have in common besides being 4 people who've never been in your kitchen? And if they have been in your kitchen, you got happening parties going on. Invite me. I want to hang out with big leaguers. Andy Pages, Ryan O'Hearn, Joey Wiemer, and T.J. Rumfield entering today. Those were the top 4 hitters in the National League, according to OPS. OPS, not a fancy number, not an advanced sabermetric that I have to explain the formula for. On base plus slugging. Those are the 4 best hitters in the National League as of April 8th. Andy Pages, Ryan O'Hearn, Joey Wiemer, and T.J. Rumfield. Or Rumfield. I get it. He plays for my favorite team, and I still get it confused. I just call him Rumham. The shout out to It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I'm sorry, Rumham. I'm sorry. So that's how early we are in this. That those guys, those 4 randos, effectively, Pages was a big deal prospect, and O'Hearn's been an all-star. He's a good player. But those are the 4 best OPS marks in the National League. It's April 8th. That's how early we are in this, guys. That's how early we are in this. That's why, look, we can call a spade when it comes to today's game. It was gross. Yesterday's game, it was gross. It was bad. If the Royals are going to strike out 14 times a game moving forward, we got to rethink our priors about how good this offense can be. I don't think that's going to happen. I think at the back of the baseball card for Bobby and Vinny and Salvi doesn't lie. Those guys are going to get fired eventually. But it has been a rough start, a really rough start for the offense. As far as the pitching, though, MPM makes this point as well in the live chat. The Royals pitching, and I haven't double sourced these, but I trust our listeners. The Royals pitching has given up the fourth most home runs, fifth most earned runs, 24th in team earned run average. Again, early, but the home runs in particular raised some eyebrows, right? Because this was a staff that last year was one of the best at preventing home runs. And 2 years ago was one of the best at preventing home runs. And you look at the home runs the Royals have allowed. They've allowed now, after today, 15 home runs in 12 games. 3 of those were Cole Reagans on opening day. 3 of those were Steven Cruz in 1 inning. And that has obviously inflated the numbers. But Bubic has given up a pair of home runs in his first 2 starts. Winter Avila's given up a home run. So that is a number that I think, a trend that I think will bear watching. Again, that's not one, much like the strikeouts, that has been a hallmark of the Royals the last couple of years with most of these same guys. But early on this season, it is an issue. Doesn't mean it won't continue to be an issue. But again, you take the broader sample size, and you'd like to think that those numbers can level out. But while they don't, not much fun to watch. Take another quick break here on 580 Sports Talk. We'll come back. Some news from the NCAA. They want to propose some major changes to eligibility rules, including age limits for the first time. We'll talk about that next on 580 Sports Talk. $350 on 580 Sports Talk. A lot more show to get to today. In the 4 o'clock hour, we'll have Tim Fitzgerald, publisher GoPowerCat.com. We have Mock Draft Wednesday coming up. I gave you my Masters picks in the 5 o'clock hour as well. Did want to bring this up. Ross Dellinger reporting for Yahoo Sports that the NCAA is considering a significant change to its eligibility rules. A committee next week is expected to explore an age-based standard for eligibility. The proposal has reportedly been in the works for weeks, but only recently communicated with high-level conference and school administrators. So this is the concept. NCAA athletes would have 5 full years of eligibility from the time of their 19th birthday or their high school graduation, whichever is earliest. So whatever happens first, you graduate high school, you turn 19, you get 5 years of eligibility, 5 years to play. No red shirts, no waivers, no exceptions, except for a small group of outliers, religious missions, military service, maternity leave. Those would be your 3 exceptions. So unless you were Mormon, military, or maternal, that I guess that's not entirely fair. It's a little reductive. You can go on religious mission if you're not Mormon, but those would be the only class of college athletes that could apply for an extra year of eligibility. The legislation is, according to Dellinger, considered an urgent matter with potential for implementation as soon as this coming academic year. So here's what you got to understand about any NCAA rule that gets proposed by the organization. It's going to be challenged in court, and it's probably going to lose because the NCAA loses in court a lot. They lost in the Supreme Court. They lost in the Supreme Court 9-0. Do y'all watch the news? Are you familiar with our current Supreme Court? Are you familiar with the decisions that Supreme Court hands down and how, generally speaking, you can predict how the vote is going to go based on what the issue is and which side of the aisle prefers a certain issue? All 9 of those justices came down against the NCAA in the House case. All 9. Every single one of them. So that's where we're at as far as the NCAA's power to make these eligibility requirements that do not get some significant feedback or say from the participants themselves. Dellinger elaborates on this point in his article. The NCAA is fighting dozens of lawsuits from athletes seeking extended eligibility, some of which their own member schools support. Differing rulings from federal and local judges have left in their wake a divided and frustrated membership. The NCAA has won more than half of eligibility lawsuits in which a judge has issued a preliminary ruling. That's important to know. Preliminary rulings sometimes go the NCAA's way, like Trinidad Chambliss's preliminary ruling went the NCAA's way. Guess who's playing this fall at Ole Miss? Continuing Dellinger, the new age-based standard is expected to provide a step towards avoiding future costly and burdensome legal challenges. So there aren't a lot of examples like this, but generally the stories that occur like this are the ones like we hear about, like they get turned into movies. Like, what's the one the guy from The Shield is in about the guy who got his like year of college eligibility, still had it, like Sul Ross State, and playing college football when he was in his 60s? Or like minor league baseball players coming back and playing football. Chris Weinke won a Heisman Trophy. Austin Aune, I think, was playing college football in his 30s after he spent 8 odd years in the minor leagues. So for me, I do not see a path where this is not going to be heavily challenged in court, and I don't see a path, even if it runs all the way up to the highest court, where the NCAA is going to have much of a leg to stand on here. And I say this as somebody who kind of agrees with the thought that 5 years to play 5 feels fair. 5 years, you can play all of them if you want. You know, if you're good enough to play as a freshman, don't worry about a red shirt, just get in the game. You 5 years to play 5, okay. I'm actually okay with that. It's the age-based part of it. Like, sometimes you want to take a gap year, go backpacking. You know, sometimes you might leave college sports behind for other reasons. You might have to go and take care, attend to your family. Maternity leave does not cover it. What you would imagine, instance of particularly traumatic pregnancy loss, potentially. Like, there's a lot here that I don't think this covers. A lot here I don't think that covers. So I do not expect this to become the law of the NCAA. Let me just say that. As it stands, I do not expect that there will be a way to sustain that age requirement. I think the 5 to play 5 has a much better chance of becoming a standard that does hold up against high court scrutiny. But I don't think the age limit will. Coming up in the next hour of 580 Sports Talk, it's Mock Draft Wednesday. Yes, yet another Mock Draft Wednesday. We're going to talk about some potential trades for the Chiefs. What would it cost to trade up? What would it cost to trade a first-round pick? Who could you go get for a first-round pick? We'll discuss. Plus, we got What Is Wrong With You? And Tim Fitzgerald, publisher of GoPowerCat.com, will join us for the Wildcat Wrap-Up presented by Tallgrass Windows and Doors. It's all coming up in the 4 o'clock hour of 580 Sports Talk. Let's get it. Now, number 2, 580 Sports Talk on a Wednesday afternoon. Thanks so much for being with us on the Sports Voice of Kansas, 580 WIBW, FM 104.9, online at 580WIBW.com, and in living color on our YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk, and our Facebook page, WIBW News. Dan Lucero, Spencer Dupuis with you until 6 o'clock. Lots more to come over these final 2 hours of the show today. So thank you for being with us on a blustery Wednesday. I think I know where that wind is coming from. It's all that wind generated from all that swinging and missing the Royals were doing the last couple of days out there in Cleveland. 14 more whiffs today for the boys in blue in what ended up being a 10-2 loss to the Guardians in the rubber game of their 3-game set. Royals dropped to 5-7. 4 games coming up against the White Sox this weekend at the K, starting tomorrow night.
Fire Alec.
Oh, we're gonna do that.
Fire Alec.
Yeah, that's what we do around here. We we want the hitting coach tried at the Hague after every bad game. 12 games,
14
guys.
Strikeouts in 3 games. That's not good.
No, it's quite bad. Actually, it's extremely bad. It's also pretty out of character for this lineup, and the trend continues. Yeah, we're gonna have a conversation, but it's 12 games in. You don't fire anybody 12 games in. We don't overreact 12 games in. You don't underreact 12 games in. Like, certainly if you're a team like Seattle, who lost today to drop to 4-9, you have World Series aspirations, you're 4-9 through 13 games, and your offense isn't doing anything, that's a reason for some concern. If you're Boston and you're 3-8, you don't love that. If you're San Francisco and you're 4-8, you're spending all that money on that roster, and you hired your handsome boy, Tony Vitello, out of Tennessee to revolutionize baseball managing, and they can't get out of their own way. I understand that, but Royals are 5-7. Nobody else in the division is playing great baseball yet. Cleveland's 8-5. They're out in front, but no, it's not panic time for the Royals just yet, as far as I am concerned. The YouTube comments disagree with me. I know I get accused. Our pal Trenton Craxner accuses me of being the head of the Alex Zumwalt fan club. Somehow I got
all the time.
All the time. I get charged with being the head of the Alex Zumwalt fan club. All I did is point out that the Royals' second half offense last year was 11th best in baseball. They got rolling after a slow start, and they're starting slow this year. But look, end of the day, the guys who aren't going right now for the Royals, it'd be one thing if Bobby and Vinny and Salvi were going great guns and this team still couldn't score runs. Then we'd have a conversation. The guys who are struggling are not guys who are going to struggle for 162 games. I'm pretty sure. Like, I don't think Bobby Witt Jr. is going to finish the year one extra base hit every 12 games he plays. So, too early. If I'm still watching him strike out 14 times a game by Memorial Day, then we can start talking about firing people, making some changes, making some leadership changes. But that doesn't mean that I do not feel acutely how disgusting the last 2 games were to watch from a Royals offensive perspective. It was no bueno, and they got to find the offense. And thankfully for them, they get to face the White Sox pitching staff, carried an ERA in the mid-5s into today's action, and do not have pitchers with the same kind of strikeout ability that the Cleveland Guardians do. So hopefully it's a get-right weekend for the Royals at the K. Anyhow, we'll have some conversation about the Cats with Tim Fitzgerald, GoPowerCat.com, coming up at the bottom of this hour. It's the Wildcat Wrap-Up presented by Tallgrass Windows and Doors. We've also got What Is Wrong With You coming up. We got headlines in the 5 o'clock hour. Also, my Masters picks in the 5 o'clock hour. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to pick the winner. I have correctly picked the Masters champion each of the last 3 years. And look, it's not like I've had to go way out on a limb either of the last 3 years, but 3 for 3 is 3 for 3. I've made a nice little chunk of change betting Masters outright winners the last 3 years. And I'm seeking to make it 4 in a row. So I'll give you who I think is going to win the Masters coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. Text line today, 785-272-9429 is the number. 785-272-9429. Also, feel free hop in the live chat on our YouTube channel. 580 Sports Talk is the name of the channel, 580 Sports Talk. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you have yet to do so. All it costs you is a click, and you get notified when we go live, which is great on days like today when we follow Royals baseball, and you don't necessarily know maybe if you're a YouTube viewer or you're not in the area, but you like to catch the show. You don't necessarily know when the Royals baseball network postgame is going to end. But if you're a subscriber, you get notified when we go live. So subscribe to the YouTube channel.
It's also a fun time on our YouTube channel. You can see little things we make on the shorts.
Yep, YouTube shorts. You get to subscribe. You get notified about those. You get access to all of our content over at our YouTube channel. I'd like to give somebody access to $1,000. I don't control who wins this contest, by the way, so that's a little bit overblown. But I want to give you the chance to get registered for a chance to win $1,000, which means I owe you another keyword this hour for our Win 1K a Day sweepstakes. Again, text this keyword to 785-272-9429. You have this entire hour to text this word. Don't text an old word. Don't text the word and then like your name and social security number and stuff. Just text this word to 785-272-9429. The word is time. T-I-M-E. Time. As in there is lots of time left in the 2026 Major League Baseball season for the Royals to find their offense. Time. T-I-M-E is the number. Or that's the word. The number is 785-272-9429. Go ahead and text that. And if you text that word in this hour from 4 to 5, you will have a chance to be eligible to win $1,000 from your friend at 580 WIBW.
This is a text contest, just a reminder.
Yes. Text the show, 785-272-9429. Mock Draft Wednesday is back in effect, and I want to thank Bill Barnwell for the conceit of his ESPN column earlier this week, because he does a mock draft where he doesn't pick any players. He just does trades at every spot in the draft. So I've got 4 trades that Barnwell suggests that the Chiefs could possibly make in the 2026 draft. I'm going to run through the trades first, and then we'll talk about each of them. First suggestion, a trade up. The Chiefs trade the 9th overall pick and the 40th overall pick, so the second rounder, to the Titans for the 4th overall pick and a 5th and a 6th this year. Second trade, a trade down. Pick number 9 and Felix Anudike-Uzomah to Minnesota for the 18th pick, the 97th pick, a third rounder, and Jonathan Greenard, who had 12 sacks 2 years ago and was banged up and missed some time last year. The third trade is another trade up. Number 29 overall, number 74 overall, and number 109 overall. So a first, a third, and a fourth to the Cowboys for the 20th overall. And the fourth trade is for a player. The 29th overall pick to Pittsburgh for the 53rd pick, the 121st pick in the 4th round, and veteran edge rusher Alex Highsmith. Let me start here with the trades down. Does it at all appeal to you to try and use one of these draft picks to get an established veteran at edge, knowing that there's a lot of depth at edge in this draft? Even if you don't get Bain or Bailey at number 9 overall, you can end up with pick 29 or pick 40 with a guy who can start for you on day one in an ideal world and maybe have the kind of rookie year impact that a George Karlaftis did. So you're going to have a chance to draft an edge. But would you rather go get a guy with some proven numbers, couple of years left on the contract? There's 2 years left on Greenard's deal. I think there's 2 years left on Highsmith's deal. Greenard's paid a little more, and he's younger. You'd have to maybe extend him if you wanted him through his 30s. Is that an appealing prospect? And my thought on that is I love the thought of getting Jonathan Greenard. 9 and Felix to go down 9 spots and add a third. And I know Greenard would cost, and you'd have to make the salary cap work. You probably have to restructure Chris Jones to get this done. But do I think that Jonathan Greenard would be more productive than an edge you could draft outside of the top 10 in 2026? Yeah, I do. And I kind of think Highsmith would too, even though he's been in a different kind of scheme and might not really be a fit for the Chiefs. I'll tell you, if I'm Brett Veach and Minnesota calls and they want to do a deal and the opportunity to get Greenard and I only move down 9 spots in the first round is on the table, I think I do it. I think I like that.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you on that. And I don't hate the other option either. I don't hate Highsmith.
Both really good players.
Yeah, both are below their age 30 seasons.
The only concern, and actually Highsmith is younger. That's my mistake there. My only concern with Highsmith is he's not a Chiefs defensive end. He is very much a stand-up rush outside linebacker.
Yeah.
And so I don't know that that's a great scheme fit. Whereas you look at a guy like Jonathan Greenard, 6'3", 260. That, to me, feels like much more of a player who would fit Spags' eye as a pass rusher. The question is, can he get back to that form that he showed 2 years ago when he had the dozen sacks? Because last year he dealt with some injuries, only played in 12 games, had just 3 sacks. So he was not nearly as impactful. He had back-to-back seasons with 12 sacks. Had 12 and a half with Houston in 2023, 12 in 2024 when he made the Pro Bowl. I guess then the ideological question, if you're sitting at 9 and Bain and Bailey are both off the board, I don't think you're going to get a more productive pass rusher in 2026 than you would by using one of those picks to trade for somebody. And you could talk me into using number 29 maybe as a piece to go get Greenard as well. But I really like the player. If he can bounce back from that injury last season, I don't know that it's a 100% perfect fit. I think it's a better fit for a Spag scheme than a player like Highsmith. So that, to me, would be the move I would favor of those two, would be going and getting Greenard.
Yeah.
As for the trades up, the first one suggested is with Tennessee. The 9th pick and the 40th pick for number 4, plus a 5th and a 6th. I think if the Chiefs were to make a big move up the draft, it would be for Carnell Tate. That would be my guess. Would that be, what would you think if they were going up to 4, and we assume obviously that Jeremiah Love is no longer an option for the Chiefs in the first round of this draft. If the Chiefs were to move up in the first round further into the top 10, who would you assume that would be for? Because my thought would be Tate.
Or Ruben Bain?
Could also be to make sure you get your guy at edge, right?
Yeah.
Could also be to make sure
Ruben Bain or David Bailey.
that you get Bain or Bailey. But I think that's one of those where if you like those guys, you could see if the board is going to fall your way, where a lot of mock drafts now have Tate not falling outside the top 6. That feels to me like if that's the receiver you want, you have to go up to get him. At which position are you more content to let the board play out, I guess, would be the question for Brett Veach. Would you be more content to let it play out at end or edge? And if one of the top 2 guys isn't there at 9, maybe make a move. Listener Andrew points out in the YouTube live chat, you could make a move for Cameron Jordan after the draft, sign a veteran out of that position.
Yeah, I mean, Cameron Jordan on social media seems like he's just waiting around for the Chiefs to give him a phone call.
Yeah, it kind of feels like they're going to do that anyway.
Yeah.
Like that feels like a pretty natural marriage of player with a little bit left in the tank, chasing a ring, not going to ask for a ton of money.
Call me in training camp.
Yeah.
I will ramp it up as training camp goes on.
I don't want to do OTAs. I'm old. I'll see y'all in St. Joe.
Yeah. Also, Tyreek keeps posting himself in Kansas City.
I know he does. He's
and his highlights from KC. He really wants to be back on the Chiefs.
Yeah, he's simping pretty hard at this point. Anyway, so that is if they were to move up, my guess would be that it would be all right, we are in love with Carnell Tate, and we have to get this receiver for Patrick Mahomes, because Tate's the one guy that I think could be gone before number 9. I think Lemon will be on the board for sure. I think Jordan Tyson will be on the board for sure, unless he gets great medicals and blows everybody away at his pro day. If they were going to move up, that would be what I would suspect. Like if you hear the sounder and it's, the Chiefs have made a move, they're going up in the draft, my immediate thought would be it was wide receiver and not end. But I could be wrong. The other trade, number 29, number 74, number 109, for the 20th pick. So that's move up 9 spots late in the draft. Feels a little rich, but at the same time, that to me, if they were to move up from 29, that would tell me corner. That would tell me corner, because that's where you see, if you look at a lot of mock drafts, that's where you start to see guys like Jermon McCoy come off the board, Colton Hood, Avion Terrell, all these guys that we've talked about at corner that could be appealing prospects for the Chiefs, who they're leaving Pittsburgh with a cornerback.
Yeah.
This is what they do. They draft a cornerback. If there's one they really like in the first round, we've seen recent history, they'll move up to get him. So that would be my assumption there. If you were to see the Chiefs trade up from 29 to get a little bit further up into the first round, my immediate thought would be corner. Does that track with you, Spencer, or do you think it might be something else?
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I keep doing these mock drafts on PFF, and Delane is just there at 9 for the taking. So if they do nothing at 9, like, you got a top corner there for you. And if you're going to go around later on, I mean, I guess it just depends on where you are in the draft and what you've done. So
that's a good point. Like, if they want
I've done every day this week, I've done a mock draft on PFF where it takes the latest whatever PFF grades and all that stuff. And every single time I'm getting to 9, Delane is there.
Yeah, I think he would, if the Chiefs want the best corner in the draft, they can take him.
Yeah.
That's really how it feels. So,
because it's to me, it's either like the last 3 days, it's been Delane, Francis
Moanoa,
the tackle,
yeah,
and then Mekhi Lemon. Like, it's been those 3 guys that have been there, and I'm like, not taking a tackle. I don't think, like, there's more craving needs than a tackle.
I agree.
You could take a tackle, but you're not gonna.
I agree with that. So, if they're going to take a first-round corner, the argument is take the best first-round corner.
Yeah.
If you value corner to the point where you are looking to take one in the first round, then just go take the best one if he's there at 9. Like, yeah. I can certainly follow that logic. I can absolutely follow that logic. So those are the trades proposed by Bill Barnwell in his all trades mock draft over at ESPN that was posted. Couple of more mock drafts to look at here on Mock Draft Wednesday. Peter Schrager publishing over ESPN. That's a little weird, but that's happening. Peter Schrager had a first round mock draft. He has Jordan Tyson, number 9 overall, to the Chiefs, and says in his opinion, Tyson's the best receiver in the draft, and that the injury concerns are the only things that are keeping him down right now. Which, like, Tyson at his best, I think there's a case. Like, I have said on this show, like, I've seen him dominate games, take over games in a way that I don't know that we really necessarily saw Tate or Lemon take over games for their respective team. I guess, Tate at Ohio State, you don't really have to. But I could see the vision for Tyson at number 9. Just the medicals are so important to his draft stock. And then Schrager at number 29 has the Chiefs going Colton Hood, the cornerback from Tennessee. Rhett Lewis of NFL.com, thinking like you're thinking, has Delane from LSU as the number 9 overall pick.
Yeah, I mean,
that's one of those, like, don't overthink it, right?
Yeah,
you need a corner. This is the best player at his position in the draft. Just go get him.
And guess what? You have 5 years for this guy if you want him.
Exactly. You get that extra year option for him as well. Lewis's second Chiefs first round pick is a tackle. Maxi Anachor out of Arizona State. Like, better than the thought of taking one at number 9 overall, but I still do not see the Chiefs. And Jesse Newell made the point today in The Athletic. Like, if the Chiefs believe in Esapole, they might not take an offensive lineman at all in this draft.
Yeah.
Like, if they really like Pole and they think he could be a right tackle option in the future, they might sit out this year, draft an offensive line in as a whole. Last one we're going to do, my debut on the mock draft Wednesday. I ran a 3-round mock today. I ran it at the NFL Mock Draft Simulator website. Number 9 overall, Ruben Bain was my pick. I just think that he is the best edge on the board. And he was there. Yeah. Wow. Best edge on the board, and he was there. So, again, to me, that is the guy at the very top of my board for the Chiefs. If he's there, run, don't walk. And so Ruben Bain was my pick at number 29, or at number 9. At 29, I went with Caleb Banks, a defensive tackle out of Florida. We haven't talked a lot about Caleb Banks. He's had some foot injuries, which you don't love for a big man. But when he's on the field, the way he moves is so rare. It's like a dancing bear between the guards on defense. And I think has a chance to be an impactful sort of young defensive tackle, kind of the way that Byron Murphy has been for the Seahawks. Crazy athletic, incredibly talented. The health is the concern, but if you can get a clean enough medical on him and he's there at 29, I think that you go with him and Tonga and Jones and Norman Lott, and you feel really, really good about your defensive tackle rotation. And I like addressing that because the Chiefs have to come out of the draft with a defensive tackle. I don't love the idea of, well, we'll wait. Somebody playable will be there in the second round. Somebody playable will be there in the third round. Maybe. But somebody with Caleb Banks' ceiling, that feels like a Chiefy pick to me. Let's take a risk on the ceiling of a guy that late in the first round. Colton Hood was still there at number 40. So I took him there. Wow. That was very surprising that's how this particular mock draft went. But again, there's a lot of positions of depth, and it always happens that one position, like there's just not a run on guys.
Yeah, and then they fall. And then you wait, and then all of a sudden, like it picks 10 picks after you thought they would have gone, there's like 3 or 4 that go.
And in this particular mock draft simulation I ran, it was cornerback. There were a bunch of guys, like Emmanuel McNeil-Warren was still sitting there at 40. I went with Hood at corner. He was the best corner on the board in that spot, and I don't have a problem going with one at number 40 if you can get a borderline first-round talent. I went wide receiver with my third-round pick. I went with Elijah Surratt out of Indiana. Big-bodied wide receiver who wins on contested catches. And I just think the Chiefs are dying for that. And he was the best guy for me at 74. I like him better than Chris Bell of Louisville because Bell's coming off the ACL. Surratt's not like crazy strong athletic. Like he doesn't, I don't necessarily think he's a game-breaking wide receiver, but he is going to be a very valuable possession wide receiver in the NFL. And I think that's the prototype the Chiefs need to find at wide receiver. If they can get one as good as Surratt in the third round, I would feel really good about that. What do you think of my mock draft? What do you think of those mock drafts? Trade ideas. Let us know. 785-272-9429. You can also hop in on the live chat on our YouTube stream, 580 Sports Talk. We'll take a break. What is wrong with you is next. What is wrong with you is next. Followed by Tim Fitzgerald to GoPowerCat.com for the Wildcat Wrap-Up on 580 Sports Talk. So what is wrong with you time on 580 Sports Talk? Two news stories competing today. Try to take down our current winner, old enough to know better, the 73-year-old Iowa woman who got popped for OWI twice in 2 days and added a marijuana charge on top in the second instance. Two news stories today. Spencer, you go first.
And we're going to go to Florida. Two tourists are facing felony charges after they were spotted road tripping across Florida with a dead alligator strapped to the roof of their vehicle.
Oh, jeez.
According to court records, witnesses first reported seeing the gator-adorned vehicle as it traveled near the Walt Disney World Resort outside of Orlando last Saturday. Police license plate readers subsequently tracked the auto as it moved through other Central Florida locales. At some point, the suspects covered the alligator with a white sheet in response to, quote, being warned by multiple parties that possession of an alligator is illegal in the state of Florida. Cops reported the car was eventually pulled over in Melbourne around 7 p.m. by a Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission officer. The two suspects, Anthony Bowl and March Chadwick, reportedly admitted to taking the roadkill alligator and wanting to take it to a taxidermy office to have it stuffed. Even after warning, it is unclear if the reptile was still atop the vehicle when it was pulled over, since the arrest reports the duo earlier called FWC dispatcher and stated they had gotten rid of the alligator, but they were still jailed.
Yeah, and these are, I love the note here, these are just like regular dudes. This is not like Dumb and Dumber here. Chadwick is an architect, and Bull is a world traveler who speaks 4 languages and has attended acting school. Like, they look like kind of like Dumb and Dumber, but like this isn't just like two morons happen across an alligator. They're just two guys like, hey, you know what'd be sick? We got this stuffed. Well, all right, well, where are we gonna put it? I don't know. Roof of the car?
Strap it to the roof.
Like every back seat's got like a, you lay the back seat down. Must have been a big alligator, man. They couldn't even think to get it in the back seat of their car. Also, don't mess around with a dead alligator. You know where that thing's been.
Yeah.
It's a lot of bad decisions being made there.
Yes.
For my story today, we're going across the pond. We are going to England for a chicken shop row. It's actually happened on Christmas Eve, but the man in question, 18-year-old Marwan Kadir, has been sentenced to 3 years in prison after assaulting a staff member at a chicken shop on Christmas Eve. He threatened to shoot and kill the shop worker and assaulted him multiple times. Over what, you might ask? Garlic sauce. They were arguing about how many garlic sauces that Kadir had ordered before Kadir complained he had not gotten his chips. That's French fries. That's what they call French fries over there, with the order. After seemingly resolving the issue, the teenager walked back to his flat. That's what they call apartments.
Yep.
Only to find out that his order was still not correct. Kadir then came back with a fake gun and asked the staff member, I asked for 3 garlic and 3 mayo. So why are you giving me 4 burger sauce? Then he leapt onto the counter, cocked the fake weapon, grabbed the worker's wrist, and told him, I'm going to kill you now. Are you mad?
Wow.
I'd be kind of mad if somebody said that to me while holding a gun. The victim reported the assault the next day. Kadir was arrested by Arn police less than a week later. And again, he's going to do 3 years in jail over garlic sauce and burger sauce. And I got questions about what the burger sauce is at the chicken joint, the chicken shop.
Yeah.
Anyhow, all right, who wins today? I'm leaning with the alligator guys.
Yeah.
That's just so many bad decisions being made by people who, like, in theory, ought to know better.
And they were warned, too.
Just don't drive around with an alligator on the hood of your, like, you got to stop at some point and say to yourself, hey, man, I'm making a bad decision here. Like, I really got to reevaluate where I'm at with my life if I'm driving around with a dead alligator strapped to the roof of my car. What am I doing? What am I doing? Yeah. That one wins today. Does that beat old enough to know better?
I don't know, because I kind of feel like you could also say they should be old enough to know better to not do what they did too.
They really should. They're in their 50s. They happen upon the tourists, essentially. Happen upon this alligator. I'm going to go get this stuff. I'm going to tape it to the roof of my car. That won't be a big deal. I think that does. Yeah. I think that wins. Yeah, the dead alligator story. We'll come up with a good name for it. It's better than that. That's our winner on What Is Wrong With You. Tim Fitzgerald to GoPowerCat.com joins us next for the Wildcat Wrap-Up. We are joined on the Fleming Place Wine and Spirits hotline by Tim Fitzgerald, publisher at GoPowerCat.com, part of the 24/7 Sports Network. This is the Wildcat Wrap-Up, and it's sponsored by Tallgrass Windows and Doors, who provide high-quality products at affordable prices. You can check out their showrooms in either Wamego or Lawrence, or visit them online at tallgrasswindows.com. Excellence without exception. That's Tallgrass Windows and Doors. Fitz, you're a publisher, which means you've written some headlines in your day. With that in mind, how much of a gift is it to the headline writers that create Kansas State content that the last name of the first transfer portal commitment for new head coach Casey Alexander is Vice?
Look, I can work with that. We're going to need more of this. I'm telling you, I'm tired of writing headlines. If you give me more names like this, it'd be really helpful to me. And it's about me. I think we all agree with that. So that'd be really nice. I wish his first name was Miami, but we can just name him that. We'll call him that.
Manhattan Vice. We could teach the pep band Crockett's theme. A lot of different ways with this. Brock Vice is who we're referring to, by the way, in case others have not seen the news. He's a transfer from Murray State by way of North Texas, by way of Creighton. 2 years of eligibility remaining. Had some familiarity with Casey Alexander, who recruited him out of high school. He's a Tennessee kid. Also didn't produce a whole lot last year for Murray State. He's 6'10", a bit of a stretch 4 or a stretch 5 type of player. And is it players like this who, A, have a bit of a previous history with Alexander, and B, maybe weren't hugely productive at their most recent stops? Are those the kinds of players, not in their entirety, but are those going to be maybe a large portion of this transfer portal class for K-State, given that it sure seems like they're a bit limited on the NIL front relative to recent years?
Yeah, I mean, he needs to fill an entire roster. So you're not going to hit a home run every time. You're going to get some guys that are intended to come in and compete and maybe make you better. And I don't know how much they'll play. He might be one of those. But then again, maybe Casey Alexander sees something untapped in him that he wants to bring him in and try to bring that out. Can't coach someone to be 6'10", that's for sure. he must be able to shoot it to a degree, or he wouldn't be interested in him. So there's probably something there. But again, he's going to have an entire roster to fill, with the exception so far of just one guy coming back, and that's a lot of bodies, particularly in a lowered NIL environment. And you got to make your money stretch as far as possible. So you're going to go find some guys that you hope you can get more value out of than you actually pay.
There have already been a couple of Belmont transfers that have opted to not follow their previous head coach and go play elsewhere. One of them's committed to Tennessee. So obviously players that can move up to the next level and have chosen to do so not at Kansas State. What is the feeling around the possibility that there are still some players that are going to leave Belmont and join Alexander at Kansas State? Or is, again, that the kind of thing that a more limited NIL budget might make a little bit tougher for Alexander to bring as much of his roster as he might have liked?
Well, I mean, he's got more than zero, and that's what Belmont had. But, Tennessee situation might have been being beaten by someone, but, for having enough money. But also, the player's name escapes me, but he was going to be a fifth-year senior. And a very good player. Let's stay young. Let's just invest everything we can into this next season for the future, which would include not bringing in players that are going to be one and done.
Tim Fitzgerald of GoPowerCat.com is our guest. This is the Wildcat Wrap-Up, sponsored by Tallgrass Windows and Doors here on 580 Sports Talk. Andre Kostic is staying. He's the only one. It seems like for now there could be some other decisions that might come as a surprise to people, but right now it's just Andre Kostic coming back, and he came in with a decent amount of fanfare, and I know a decent chunk of NIL last year, and didn't get the playing time or the production to quite match that hype. But what went into the decision for Kostic to stay? What's the long-term vision, you think? What's the hope that he can be in Alexander's system as a player who's still very young and still has a lot of developing to do?
Yeah, see, this kid fits what I just said. He was only a freshman. And I know coming from Serbia, you're kind of uncertain of his age, but he does have 3 years of eligibility remaining. He fits the criteria of the guy that can shoot the ball. I mean, I think Casey Alexander's of the belief that I'm going to go find guys that can score because I can teach him everything else. And Kostic certainly falls under that. He shot 44% from three-point range in Big 12 play. But he's got giant holes in his game. He hasn't played great defense. He got better, but still not good. He makes some bad passes at times, and he actually shot a lower percentage from inside the three than outside the three-point arc because he only took 8 field goals from inside the arc the entire Big 12 time, hitting 2 of those. So there's some holes here. But in Casey Alexander's offense, he wants everyone to be able to shoot the threes that keep everyone on defense accountable for covering those guys. And certainly Kostic fits that perfectly. And again, I think he looks at film of a guy like this and says, holy cow, if we can do this, this, and this with him, he's going to be really good. And I have to agree. I think there's something in this kid that could take him to the NBA, but we didn't see much of it this year. It just feels like all the pieces are there. He just needs to improve and put them together.
Taj Manning is not staying at Kansas State. And I think a lot of people felt like that was likely to happen because Manning has been a program guy over the course of his 4 years. But he opted instead to enter the transfer portal. What have you heard about maybe what went into his decision? He's only got 1 more year left. And is it just about maybe finding a place to finish his career where he knows he'll play a little bit more and possibly win a little bit more?
Yeah, there's rumors going around of Iowa State. I find that hard to believe. But he did enter the portal with a no contact tag, which means he knows where he's going. Typically that does. So I think he knows what his plan is. And now, in due time, he'll share it with us. And maybe he's doing that here within the next few hours or so. I don't know.
We're joined by Tim Fitzgerald of GoPowerCat.com. And Tim, looking to the women's side, they came out today with a graphic of, I believe, 7 players on the team right now and 1 signee that are committed to staying next year, including Terrence Sides. How much does that mean for the program for the leader, the one that was the one last year to be part of a group coming back for next season, specifically her senior year.
Yeah, it's good. But I think we're all a little bit distressed that the scope of the transfer portal is beginning to spread into women's basketball too. And it appears players are leaving for additional NIL. We were hoping, there was a frontier where basketball was going to be college basketball, and it's not going to be women's hoops apparently, because Katy State has thought it was going to keep together a roster, and it's seen this roster kind of dwindle. It's unfortunate, but having Terrence Hides back, who just loves K-State, is always important.
Couple more questions for Tim Fitzgerald of GoPowerCat.com. He is the publisher at GoPowerCat.com, part of the 24/7 Sports Network, and this is the Wildcat Wrap-Up, sponsored by Tallgrass Windows and Doors. Football continues on the spring football front, and lots of noise out there about Kansas State being very active, trying to build next year's recruiting class in this process as well. How different, or different, maybe not the right word, but how would you describe this Kansas State staff and their approach to recruiting, maybe vis-a-vis what the Chris Kleiman staff was doing with their approach to high school recruiting, particularly at this stage of the spring, trying to get the 2027s?
This is going to be an interesting class. He's brought in coaches from all over who have different contacts, who maybe were recruiting players at other schools that they want to continue to recruit. So I think it's going to be a little more scattered and, trying to find out what areas they're going to have most success in, because they really do cover a big part of the United States based on the recruiting areas of the staff. But yeah, they're bringing in a lot of dudes, man. A lot of guys are coming through right now. They're taking a look at them, and it appears that they're recruiting at a little bit higher level than we've seen in the past at K-State. And I think that's kind of some brash confidence from mostly young coaching staff.
Where do you sense there's the most excitement right now emanating from spring practice? If there's a player, if there's a group, if there's even maybe a side of the ball that you sense there's a lot of optimism, a lot of positivity surrounding right now from the spring workouts, what would you say that is right now?
I think running back. I think they brought in a couple players to the portal that compliment Joe Jackson. And Joe Jackson was in the media room last Thursday talking to us, and he talked about it. They said there's just some really exciting things going on with the offense. All of them are able to do some, all the different things. They'll be rotated around doing different things. And it seems like they've got a good vibe going on in that running back room right now, which is very interesting because, if you're Joe Jackson, you probably want to have 30 carries a game. But he seemed perfectly at ease with the competition he's seeing now in that room that honestly needed the competition. They needed the depth, and Joe needed someone to push them, and he's found it.
Bill Connolly of ESPN.com had a column earlier this week where he ranked the Kansas State transfer class his 8th favorite in the entire country, and really focused a lot of that on the work done on the defensive side of the ball. How is this defense going to look, athletically speaking, relative to maybe what we saw last year? It's obviously going to be a lot of new faces. Is it a bit of a philosophy change in terms of the kind of athletes Kansas State is looking for, or not?
I don't think so. I think the goal is the same. The results might be a little bit better. I think they're kind of bringing in some dudes that could have a high upside. I need to see some of this. I need to understand, better how all these fit together. They've kind of had to rebuild the defensive line and bring in some linebackers and defensive backs. They've kind of been all over the place. But they did bring in some really talented guys. And my question is, how do they all fit together? Who's going to be the standout at key times? And Jordan Peterson, I think, is going to be a very aggressive defensive coordinator. He wants aggressive players that run to the ball and hit violently. So I think this is going to be an interesting process to watch how this defense unfolds into next season.
Tim Fitzgerald is a publisher at GoPowerCat.com, part of the 24/7 Sports Network. And spring football and transfer portal season in basketball is a great time to become a VIP subscriber to get access to all the knowledge of the GPC crew. Fitz joins us every Wednesday at this time for the Wildcat Wrap-Up, sponsored by Tallgrass Windows and Doors, who provide high-quality products at affordable prices. You can check out their showrooms in either Wamego or Lawrence, or visit them online at tallgrasswindows.com. Excellence without exception. That's Tallgrass Windows and Doors. Fitz, it's always a pleasure. We'll do it again next week.
Thank you, my friend.
That is Tim Fitzgerald. We'll take a timeout, come back, and wrap up this 4 o'clock hour, 580 Sports Talk, right after this. .455 on 580 Sports Talk, wrapping up hour number 2 of the program. Coming up in the third hour, we've got a full slate of 580 Sports Talk headlines to get to. We'll play around a one gotta go, and America's leading Masters tout, me, will give you his picks, my picks, for the tradition unlike any other starting tomorrow in Augusta. I've always wanted to go. Kind of had a whim, like got a wild hair. Like, well, Gary Woodland's back in the tournament this year. Been a couple years since his Masters, his major champion exception expired, so he didn't play in last year's. And I thought, he got in. I wonder if I could get credentialed for the Masters.
I think you gotta try to get credentialed like way
in advance. Yeah, Gary needed to win like in the fall.
Yeah,
he needed to win like the RSM Classic or something. To give me a little bit more lead time to go and get credentialed. You know what they do for the media in Augusta is you get to put your name in a raffle,
and you can play on Monday, right?
Yeah. You play the Sunday course. You play on Monday.
Yeah,
if they draw your name. My only thing would be like, do you tempt fate and bring your own clubs? I'm left-handed. Like, it's hard for me to borrow a pair of clubs.
Yeah,
I'm sure they've got a pair of left-handed clubs hanging around the course.
Yeah.
But like. The other thing of it would be, like, do you really want to win and then have to go out and find out just how bad you are at golf, play that course?
Yeah.
That's the flip side of it. It would humble you, but at the same time, you get to say for the rest of your life, you played Sunday pins at Augusta National.
Until a couple of years ago, I didn't realize how big the I live in Augusta, but I rent out my house on Airbnb for 2 weeks crowd is there. I didn't realize how big, like, nobody that lives in Augusta stays in Augusta for the Masters. They rent out their houses and make a crap ton of money.
Yeah. Yeah, that is a fascinating element of it.
Yeah, like so, I schedule my vacation every week for April.
The thing that has to happen, Gary just has to go win this year. Just go win the Masters, and then he'll play every year he wants to forever. And then I can get credentialed.
Just pick a year.
I will be the official.
Find a year. April's low for you, and
I'll be the official club reporter of Topeka, Kansas's professional sports franchise. All he's got to go is go win it this year. Go win the damn thing, Gary. So that's all coming up in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll have another keyword for you as well for our Win 1K a Day sweepstakes. So hang on with us after this news break. We got one more hour together here on 580 Sports Talk on the Sports Voice of Kansas, 580 WIBW. Well, let's get it. Third and final hour of 580 Sports Talk on this Wednesday evening. Dan Lucero, Spencer Dupuis with you here on the Sports Voice of Kansas. 580 WIBW FM 104.9. Online at 580WIBW.com and live on our streaming video channels. 580 Sports Talk on YouTube, WIBW News on Facebook. Join the conversation today by leaving a comment on our Facebook stream, jumping in the live chat on our YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk, or by texting the program, 785-272-9429, 785-272-9429. That's also the number to send the keyword for our Win 1K a Day sweepstakes. We're giving away $1,000 today, just like we did yesterday and the day before, and just like we're going to do every weekday through May 1st. $1,000 a day, and all you have to do to get registered to win is text the keyword for the hour to 785-272-9429. And the keyword this hour is app. App. A-P-P. App. Really, real test here. Make sure I don't pop my P's too bad. I used to do that really bad when I was a younger broadcaster. The word is app. Text the word to 785-272-9429. Just text the word app, A-P-P app, to 785-272-9429. You have the rest of this 5 o'clock hour to text that word, and when you do text that word in, that makes you eligible. That gets you a chance. You're in with a chance for $1,000 today from your friends at 580 WIBW. App. Is that a word? I guess it is. I guess it is now.
It is now because phone apps.
Yeah. I guess it's like an abbreviation. It's weird to think of it as a word. Yeah, we don't really call them applications, do we? We just call them apps.
No, and the world is starting to not call what you have before your meal appetizers. We don't call it anymore. We say apps, half price apps.
Are we getting apps? Is that what we say? Is that what we say now?
Like when I was in college, Applebee's had half price apps. So quick story here before we go off on a tangent, whatever. They had Friday quarters beer at this bar. And then they had Applebee's, so it was 4 to 6. Applebee's had a 6 to 8 half price apps. So we'd go from quarters beer to half price apps, get some food, and then go back out later.
Sure.
But it was half price apps.
Sure.
Nobody says appetizers anymore.
Okay. I guess that's probably true. I'm going to start calling them, open the application. Open the X application on your phone. Open the YouTube application.
But I will say the one, like, I don't say job apps. Like I do say job application.
Right.
Like I think calling a job application a job app is weird.
Yeah, that seems
that doesn't work.
But yeah, apps for appetizers, sure. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that plenty. And yeah. So app, that's keyword for today, for these 5 o'clock hour, our Win 1K a Day sweepstakes on 580 WIBW. Coming up this hour, I'm going to make you some money. Even if you don't win the $1,000 drawing, I'm going to give you something that might be just as valuable. My Masters picks. I got to be honest, though. Last year, outside of my pick to win, not super profitable. Had a tough day. had a tough weekend. But I'm looking to bounce back with my Masters picks, and I'm trying to pick the winner correctly for a 4th year in a row, which that's hard to do. 3 in a row is hard to do.
Yeah.
Even if the 3 winners, you look back in retrospect and say, oh, yeah, that was pretty predictable that those guys would have won the Masters. You still got to do it. You still got to make the pick. You still got to put your name on it. And put my name on it the last 3 years. I'll put my name on it again here. Give you that. We'll also play One Gotta Go as well this hour, plus our 580 Sports Talk headlines. Your text to 785-272-9429. Your comments in the live chat on our YouTube channel, 580 Sports Talk. You missed any of the show earlier, follow us on Spotify, 580 Sports Talk. Check out the podcast on our website, 580wibw.com. Check out the video archive on our 580 Sports Talk YouTube channel. Or just open the YouTube now and rewind if you want to hear Tim Fitzgerald. Our thanks again to him for showing up for the Wildcat Wrap-Up. Or if you want to hear Mock Draft Wednesday. You know whose mock draft we didn't give today? Diana Rossini.
Oh.
We did not get to her mock draft today, in which he's not eligible to go picks number 1 through 32 because his playing days are over. But Mike Vrabel's number 1 in your heart, folks. He's number 1 in your heart. In case anybody has no idea
Not
what we're
beating
talking
the
about.
allegations either.
In case nobody has any idea what we're talking about, there were some pictures that were released last night. Like we went off the air.
They were released,
Yeah.
and we didn't see it because we weren't on social media.
We were off the air.
Yeah.
And there are pictures of NFL insider Diana Rossini, who currently works for The Athletic, has bounced around. She's been with a bunch of different media outlets, ESPN. She's with The Athletic right now. And the current head coach of the New England Patriots, Mike Vrabel.
Former head coach of the Titans.
Former head coach of the Titans, who
did a lot of interviews with her.
Yes, Rossini used to cover the Titans.
Yes.
I don't remember for which.
I think ESPN.
Was it ESPN?
I think a season she was the Titans reporter,
Okay.
and then she got.
So they've known each other for a while, and these pictures suggest that they know each other very well. Which I'm not like. There's two reasons this is scandalous. Number one, both Vrabel and Rossini are married and that to each other. And number two, like the obvious conflict of interest. You're talking about being an NFL insider and relying on people for information and sources. And you cannot be running around with one of your sources. I'm trying to use euphemisms here.
Especially when the place in which the photos were taken at has since come out, and it's the Ambente Sedona in Sedona, Arizona.
It's a really nice resort.
An ultra-expensive adults-only hotel specializing in romantic getaways for couples, even though they did claim there was like a group of 6 people, but in none of the photos were there 6 people.
That's the funniest part of this to me. Have you ever seen that old tweet from Nathan Fielder, the guy who does Nathan for You?
Yeah.
And he has that old tweet. It's a close-up picture of himself laughing. And it's like, this is a picture of me having a great time with all my friends. They're just outside of the frame laughing too. They went with that as their excuse. Like both of them, Vrabel and Rossini, have made statements or were, when they were asked for comment by, I guess it was Page 6 in New York Post, they said, oh yeah, we were there with a bunch of other people. You just can't see him in any of these photos. Why not? Why not? Because I'm going to tell you this. If I were in a picture, I don't want to dismiss the possibility that they are indeed just good friends. Got to take them at their word for now. We don't have any other actual evidence that they're not just
priors from her, though.
Alleged priors. But all we have is this photo evidence. And I'm just going to tell you this. If I'm in a picture and my hands are interlocked with another woman's hands, and there's nobody else in the picture, and we are also photographed in an embrace against the beautiful Arizona sky and landscape, I don't get a chance to explain myself. I'm on my ass in the front yard of my house.
Yeah.
I'm done, okay? Like, that's how my wife would feel about that. That's what those pictures look like. Like, gotta take people at their word to an extent, but that did not look like 2 people just hanging out as homies.
Well, considering the evidence from her past when she was a sports reporter in Washington, D.C., covering the then Redskins, and a reporter or a guy that covered multiple. He was like a reporter, now he's like a digital content guy.
Yeah, she was accused.
My favorite Sean McVay story is that one time 2 reporters got into a drunken fist fight outside a chain restaurant at then Redskins training camp because McVay was canoodling with both of them and neither knew it. And apparently one of them was Diana Rossini. Allegedly. And then allegedly a couple years later, the wife of former Redskins and Seahawks GM Scott McLuhan, Jessica McLuhan, accused her when she was at ESPN on Twitter of exchanging sexual favors for information and being her husband's side chick.
So, yes, lots of allegations.
She also makes jokes about her marriage being in the dumps on all these podcasts she's joined in the last 8 months.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. And look, it's less of a big deal if they weren't married, but also still a big deal.
Still a big deal because
less, but still pretty big.
She's doing a disservice for all the women in this industry that are working hard,
100%
trying
correct.
to get to the network level.
Yes. That is not how you cultivate a source. There are other ways. Text from the 785 said, well, what? Photographers can't zoom in to get just those shots of the two together? The one of them on the roof could not have been any more zoomed out. That was a panoramic. You could see the whole of Sedona, Arizona in that picture. That looked like an advertisement for the resort. They could honestly put it on a pamphlet. And it's the coach of the Patriots and one of the most prominent NFL insiders hugging in a way that I would not describe as just being homies, just being bros. They look like they were broing out up there.
Also, the one at the pool just looks weird because it's literally just the two of them.
Just hanging out in the hot tub with my platonic male friend.
Multiple open areas homies. And nobody's there.
Yeah, doesn't add up. Doesn't look good. They're trying to laugh it off, both of them publicly, their statements, they're just trying to hand wave it like it's not a big deal. Even The Athletic is we're not really a big deal. We trust our reporter. I don't know, man. This feels like it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
Can't be doing that. Although there's a joke to be made here about Vrabel because he's the guy who said he cut off his own, to win a Super Bowl as a coach. Well, he hasn't done that yet. But if he ever did, I guess I'd know who would get the scoop.
Also, one funny scoop thing this summer, or not summer, this offseason so far, there's been sourcing from Diana Rossini that says the Patriots want to go after AJ Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder who her source is.
Yeah.
At the Patriots.
Well, it's been pretty well known Vrabel was one of her main sources.
Yeah.
She didn't know the extent of it. Allegedly.
Yeah.
We sprinkle as much allegedly as necessary.
Yes,
on everything we have just said.
Allegedly.
Allegedly,
we just had this conversation.
Let's get to some headlines, shall we? I'm going to do a couple of local headlines, and one of them is a bit of a sad headline today, but we must acknowledge the passing of Washburn University Athletics Hall of Famer Davey Lopes, longtime Major League Baseball player, coach, and manager, who's an All-American in 2 sports as an Ichabod back in 1968. Passed away today at the age of 80. So Davey Lopes, who's from Rhode Island, ends up at Iowa Wesleyan College, which doesn't exist anymore, and he's playing sports there, and the athletic director at that institution leaves to go to Washburn and convinces Davey Lopes to come with him and says you got a better chance of being drafted as a baseball player at Washburn than you do at Iowa Wesleyan. You're going to face better competition. Oh, and they might let you play basketball there too. Well, he ended up being an All-American point guard, despite being only 5'9", and he was an All-American on the diamond, a second-round draft pick of the Los Angeles Dodgers. So he got some pretty good advice, as it turned out. Embarked on a 16-year major league career in which he compiled 1,671 hits and 557 stolen bases. He led the National League in stolen bases in both 1975 and 1976. And made 4 consecutive All-Star games as a Dodger from 1978 to 1981. Also won a Gold Glove in 1978. And, of course, was a World Series champion with the Dodgers in 1981. Moved on to Oakland for 2.5 years, Chicago for about 2 years, and finished up his playing career at the age of 42 with the Houston Astros in 1987. When he was 40 with the Cubs, he went 47 for 51 stealing bases and had a 383 on base percentage. This was a player I think we would have appreciated a lot more in the modern era because he never had great batting averages, but he had pretty great on base percentages a lot of his career, especially late in his career. Davey Lopes went on to a long coaching career in baseball, including 3 years as the manager of the Milwaukee Brewers, and was regarded as one of the really good base coaches in the league, a great base running coach in the league for a very long time. Davey Lopes passed away today at the age of 80. I remember the first time I went to Lee Arena to cover Washburn basketball. I had just gotten here. It was 2016. It was my first year doing Washburn games of the 4 that I did them with our old pal Jake LeBon. And I go into Lee Arena, and they have new banners up there now. But you look at the old banners they used to have hanging there at Lee Arena. One of them caught my eye. Said Lopes. I'm like, oh, like Davey Lopes? Yeah, that's interesting. And then I went and did the Googles. No, that was Davey Lopes, an All-American in basketball. Like, he was not a big guy. He was 5'9", but shot 50% from the field, and was a great point guard and earned All-American honors. In addition to the All-American honors he earned in baseball. So salute to Davey Lopes, Washburn University Hall of Famer, passed away today at the age of 80. And speaking of great Kansas athletes, the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame today announced what will be the largest single Hall of Fame class in the history of the Hall of Fame. It's so big, they're going to need 3 separate ceremonies to induct everybody. 3 separate ceremonies to induct the Kansas Sports Hall of Fame class of 2026. This is how it's going to go down. On July 18th at Legends Field in Kansas City, there will be 7 baseball honorees inducted in conjunction with the Kansas City Monarchs home game that day. Among those honorees, Topeka born and raised Dink Mothel, who is considered the greatest utility player in Negro League history, spent 15 years as a player and manager in the Negro Leagues. Also going in to the Hall of Fame that day, Chet Brewer, Edward Dwight Sr., George Giles, Bullet Joe Rogan, Diego Segui, and Frank Wickware. Those will be the baseball legends who will be honored July 18th. They will be joined. They will also be honored by, there will be 3 other Negro major leaguers honored that night as well. Bingo DeMoss, also born in Topeka, George Sweat, and Oscar Heavy Johnson. On July 25th at the Kansas Star Casino, there will be another induction ceremony, and those being inducted in Wichita include Bob Barotti, 7-time Kansas State high school champion in track and 2-time state cross-country champion, ran at Kansas State. Greg Brummett, the MVP of the 1989 College World Series at Wichita State and Wichita Northwest High graduate. Steve Crosby, who was the 8-man football player of the year at Pawnee Rock High School, played at Kansas State and Fort Hays State and spent 33 years in the NFL as a player, scout, and assistant coach. Topeka's own Judy Dyer, who graduated from Topeka High and Texas Southern University, an Olympic qualifier in 1968. The Evanses, D'Angelo and Maurice, great athletes at Wichita Collegiate. D'Angelo Evans is the all-time Kansas high school rushing record holder for total yards and was the Big 12 championship game MVP for Nebraska in 1996, finishing his career at Emporia State. Maurice Evans, his cousin, was a standout basketball player, played at Wichita State, finished at Texas. C.J. Hamilton, Silver Lake's own, going into the Hall of Fame in that ceremony as well. The all-time winningest high school football coach in Kansas, 47 years at Silver Lake, 447 and 98. Is that any good?
Wow.
40 playoff appearances, 39 league titles, 18 state title game berths, and 8 state championships. The other inductees going in Wichita, Saturday, July 25th, Mike Kennedy, 46 years as the voice of the Shockers. Nathan Leeper, state high school high jump and triple jump champion at Protection High School and competed at Kansas State, made the Olympic team in 2000. And Ricky Ross, Wichita South High, Kansas, and Tulsa basketball, as a McDonald's All-American. A lot of people tell you he's the best high school basketball player in Kansas history. Then the third ceremony will be August 16th at Sporting Park. Nate McCady is the national voice of MLS soccer. He will MC the induction ceremony on August 16th because it will include a couple of prominent members of the Sporting Kansas City organization. Matt Beasler, 5-time MLS All-Star, played at Notre Dame and played at Blue Valley West High School. And Cliff Illig, who is a principal owner of Sporting Kansas City, graduated from Shawnee Mission East High School and the University of Kansas. Also going in Sunday, August 16th, Ray Bouchard, native of Grinnell, Kansas, longtime volleyball head coach at Barton County and Kansas. John Martin, Ottawa High School graduate, University of Kansas, well-renowned sports artist. Dayton Moore, former general manager of the Kansas City Royals, built the team that won the title in 2015, a 6th-generation Kansan, was born in Wichita and lived in Coldwater. Tracy Reetsky, an All-American basketball player at Kansas Wesleyan, who was from Smith Center and spent 38 years as a volleyball coach at Kansas Wesleyan and Rockhurst University. Cassie Waite Valentine, who was a 3-time state pole vault champion at Gardner Edgerton High School, a 3-year starter in volleyball, and the Big 12 Libero of the Year at KU in 2016. Earl Watson, Kansas City, Washington High School great, started 4 years at UCLA, played 13 seasons in the NBA, and was briefly a head coach of the Phoenix Suns. Larry Wilcox, who was the Benedictine head football coach for 42 years, and Zach Roberson, who was undefeated as a high school wrestler at Blue Valley Northwest High School and a national champion wrestler at Iowa State. There will also be 5 individuals inducted posthumously. Former Bishop Miege girls basketball coach Terry English, NFL player Derek Jensen, who attended Osawatomie High School, Richard Metz, who had 14 victories in his professional golf career and attended Arc City High School, Nino Samuel, who is still the all-time leader for career and season rebounding average in Kansas high school basketball history, played at Salina Central, played in college at Kansas and Marymount, and Everett Shelton, who was the head coach of the 1943 Wyoming men's basketball team that won the NCAA championship. He attended Cunningham and Little River high schools and is already in the Naismith Hall of Fame and the College Basketball Hall of Fame. So that's a really long list.
Yeah.
Hopefully a really cool list to remember and salute their newest Kansas Sports Hall of Famers.
I'll just give you a bunch of college headlines here for the local colleges.
Do it. Knock it out.
We're going to start with basketball. K-State, we talked about this earlier with Fitz. They have their first basketball addition out of the portal. Brock Weiss, Murray State, by way of North Texas and by way of Creighton, your normal transfer portal guy jumping from school to school. He's 6'10", stretch 4 with 2 years of eligibility remaining. He only averaged 2 points last year in a limited role. He made 36% of his threes. 5 games at North Texas, and he redshirted at Creighton. Also, according to Jeff Goodman, Kansas big man Flory Badunga's list as of now of schools he would transfer to, according to, I'm assuming, his agent or his handler: Duke, Michigan, St. John's, and Louisville. Interesting list. And then recently coming out here just in the last 20 minutes, he has Bryson Tiller's top schools as of now: Michigan, Arizona, Miami, and Missouri. Those are the schools that those 2 players are interested.
A couple of those feel a little aspirational.
Yeah.
Or maybe just trying to drive the price up.
Yeah.
You're playing some media games.
Yeah. And KU baseball knocked off number 19 Nebraska last night, 5-3 in Lincoln. The Jayhawks have now won 7 consecutive games. They're winners of 13 of their last 15 contests. Entering the game, Nebraska had won 21 of its last 22 games, including 10 straight. The Cornhuskers had posted a 15-0 record at home this season. KU ended the Nebraska winning streak and the undefeated season at home for the Cornhuskers. KU baseball is heating up here.
They
as
are.
we get into April.
It was K-State that got all the kind of the preseason attention, but and they got a great lineup. And D. Kennedy is maybe going to be the Big 12 Player of the Year. He's on the short list of guys who could win Big 12 Player of the Year. But they haven't been able to figure out their pitching staff. They have not been able to figure out their bullpen, and they have scuffled in Big 12 play. Meanwhile, KU is on fire. Their lineup is producing from top to bottom. They've had a bit more consistent pitching, and they're right in the mix at the top of the league right now. I think UCF is leading the league right now. I think they're in first place. I think they're 10-2.
And I think, let me double check here. As I scroll really fast on there. Yeah, they've got UCF, the 12th team in the nation, coming in this weekend. So, big opportunity at Hudlin Ballpark.
Hey, now that might be the place to be this weekend. If you can't get out to the K, you'd like to maybe if you're here in Topeka, you want to make a shorter drive, see some high level baseball. The Red Hot Hawks against the top ranked team in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Ooh, get your tickets.
6 p.m., 2 p.m., and 12 p.m. That's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, respectively.
Gotta love that. One final headline to get to. Juwan Taylor's got a job. Way to go, Juwan.
For a lot less money than he was making in Kansas City.
Juwan Taylor has a job. He will be presumably the next starting right tackle for the Atlanta Falcons, who suddenly found themselves in need of a right tackle today because Caleb McGarry announced he was retiring. McGarry, just 31 years old, missed the entire 2025 season after he suffered a knee injury on the final day of training camp. Right tackle is really important in Atlanta because that's the blind side for both their quarterbacks. Penix and Tua, both left-handed. So right tackle, kind of a big deal, and the Falcons have replaced Caleb McGarry with Jawan Taylor. He was making, what, $20 million a year? He's going to make $5 million a year in 2026 with an additional $1 million in incentives. But that makes some sense that Taylor might have waited, feel out the market, and then go somewhere where the team suddenly finds themselves with a need. And that is certainly a need. Caleb McGarry, that's a big loss for the Falcons, retiring at age 31.
I think it just worked out that way. Like, obviously, the team gets notified of what's happening before the paperwork's getting done, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, no, we got somewhere. Oh, look, there's this guy in the market. He didn't really produce at the money that he was making in Kansas City, but he was good. Let's go sign him.
Yeah, no, it does. It makes some sense for the Falcons. They've had a lot of continuity on their offensive line, and they go ahead and go get a guy who's kind of an established NFL starter to replace McGarry in his unexpected retirement. That'll do it for our headlines. We'll take a break. Come back with one gotta go. Quick game of that before I give you Masters picks for the coming week here on 580 Sports Talk. One gotta go time on 580 Sports Talk. See the baseball fight last night?
I saw it afterwards. Yes, on social media.
Sure.
Wild.
Yeah, I didn't see it live. I heard about it. I scrambled to open my phone, get the MLB app open so I could see as much of it as I could. Jorge Soler, Royal great, and Ronaldo Lopez got into it last night in Anaheim. Soler charged the mound, thought Lopez was throwing at him. Real punches thrown in the brawl.
Yeah.
Lopez was holding the baseball and throwing punches. And then Soler gets taken out with a perfectly executed form tackle by 66-year-old Braves manager Walt Weiss, who has a black belt in Taekwondo, by the way.
Wow.
So maybe that's where the fearlessness comes from. But yeah, he took Soler down. Perfect. Like, it's teach tape for a linebacker, for God's sake. But anyway, both players suspended 7 games. I think Lopez should appeal. He shouldn't get 7 games. All he did was stand there. I don't know why he gets the same suspension as Soler. That was crazy to me. Anyhow, one got to go. Sports where they don't usually fight when they fight. This is the reverse one got to go. So you got to pick which sport fights do you like the best? When they fight in basketball, when they fight in baseball, or when they fight in football?
I have to say baseball, only because like everyone tries to get, the whole team tries to get in on the action, and it's like it's just funny to me to watch something happen, somebody charge the mound, and then your bullpens are just
that's
running
the best part.
And the funniest
especially
part about
when
some
there's
of it,
no fight,
or when they're in certain spots, like I think at Citizens Bank Park, aren't the bullpens stacked?
Yeah, they're right on top of each other.
So like they're coming out the same door. Like I just like there's been some bench clearing stuff that I've watched with the Nats at Citizens Bank Park, and I'm like, they're literally coming out the same door. Like, why don't they just go in the bullpen and start throwing hands?
That's always the best. When the bench is clear but nothing happens,
Yeah.
and the relievers, they get like behind second base. They're like, ah, great. Now I got to walk all the way back to the bullpen. And
the relievers in itself are the reason I think baseball wins.
You know, we haven't had a bench clearing brawl in baseball in 4 years. That's our first one. That's our first one in 4 years.
Wow.
We've had a lot of incidents, like, you know, benches clear, people squawk at each other, a lot of posturing, hold me back, bro, hold me back. You know, a lot of that. Like, this is the first time we've had like two players throw punches at each other in a baseball brawl in 4 years, which is wild. But no, those are the best ones. Basketball ones are kind of funny because you have the constrained space and you're trying not to go in the crowd because you know what they're going to do to you if you go in the crowd. Not the crowd, the commissioner of basketball. You know they do not want you going in the crowd. They remember the malice of the palace all too well.
Yeah.
So the constraints of space make those kind of amusing. And then football fights are stupid because nobody takes their helmets off. You're just like raining punches on some dude wearing a helmet. It's dumb. So yeah, baseball by far the best. And we see a little bit more like back and forth than we used to because we have replay now, and we have ABS now, so there's less reason to go out and scream at an umpire and kick dirt on his shoes and all that. But hope we don't lose the baseball, because every now and again it's very funny to watch dudes run in out of control, try and throw these wild windmill haymaker punches. You got one got to go?
Yeah, this is with Masters Week happening, and the old menu, the patron menu that comes out every year.
Yeah, the concessions.
Yes, they call them patrons, right?
The fans, yes. The fans are called patrons. The concessions are just the concessions. Yes.
Yes, but they're the concessions for the patrons. Whatever.
Yes.
So they have their sandwich menu: egg salad, pimento cheese, pork barbecue, Masters Club, chicken salad on honey wheat, ham and cheese on rye, and classic chicken. One that you would never eat.
Pimento cheese. I don't have to think hard about that. I know it's famous, but get that out of my face. Absolutely not. No, a hard no on the pimento cheese. I know it's $1.50, which is the whole thing. They never change their prices at the Masters. They don't need to. Pimento cheese is $1.50. Egg salad is $1.50. All the other ones are $3. You can't get a deal that good anywhere.
No.
But no, pimento cheese is the easy choice. Although I'm looking at the board here, and they also have something called the savory tomato pie, and I'm not sure I want that either.
Yeah, I don't know. Mine would definitely be the egg salad sandwich. No for me.
No on egg salad.
I hate hard-boiled eggs.
Really?
Just thinking of eggs, mayo, mustard.
Nah, man, I'll take that. I did not eat a deviled egg for like 35 years of my life, and I have spent the last roughly 5 years of my life making up for lost time on deviled eggs. They go crazy. Egg and salad? Absolutely. No, I do an egg salad sandwich.
No.
Pork barbecue, obviously. Masters Club for sure. I don't love chicken salad, but I'd rather have that than pimento cheese.
See, I'd rather have chicken salad than egg salad. Any day of the week.
Okay. I might go the other. I mean, like, I don't know why chicken salad looks less appealing to me than egg salad. Like, egg to me, I guess, is supposed to look like that, and chicken's not. Maybe that's part of it for me. It's like, it's a very visual thing. I eat with my eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know if you heard people say that. Like, you eat with your eyes. And I do. And I feel like the egg salad is less off-putting visually to me than the chicken salad. I don't know why that is. I can't put my finger on why that is, but it is. It just is. When we come back, speaking of the Masters, America's most successful Masters tout of the last 3 years, me, will tell you who's going to win at Augusta this weekend. It's coming up on 580 Sports Talk. .543 on 580 Sports Talk. Spencer's admission that he does not eat hard-boiled eggs has at least one texter baffled from the 785. Does Spencer not eat potato salad?
I just found this out 30 seconds ago when I Googled potato salad. I did not know hard-boiled eggs were in potato salad.
What did you think it was?
I just thought it was potatoes smashed up with celery and onions and sometimes pickles and dressing.
At least you didn't say raisins. People out there put raisins in the potato salad. I heard about that once. That ruined my day.
I get on kicks. I'll eat potato salad. Like if I sit at the store randomly, I'm like, oh, I'll take potato salad. Like a chicken salad. I'll get on a chicken salad kick, and then I'll never want it again for like two years.
So, Mister, I don't eat hard-boiled eggs. But you've been eating them for years, the potato salad. You should know.
Yeah.
Seriously.
I think it's the deviled eggs that get me.
I understand. Like if you're looking at the whole egg, maybe it's not that appealing, but
yeah.
What about Cobb salad? Where do you come down on one of those?
Oh, Cobb salad? I'll have one all day. Chicken salad? I'll have one all day.
Love a Cobb salad.
I love steak salad.
Usually
steak
comes with
salad's
egg,
great. Steak
My
salad.
wife and I had Cobb salad with some pizza the other night. It was fabulous. Anyway, let's get to what y'all came for. I'm going to make you some money. Folks, a tradition unlike any other. Hello, friends. This is time to talk.
You can't say hello, Masters. Friends. You owe Jim Nance.
Do I owe Jim Nance
$25?
Oh, no. I got to come up with my own thing?
He was on the Kelsey podcast today, and they talked about that, and it's now it's trademarked, and they owe him $25. So you owe him $25.
Ah, that's too bad. I got to come up with my my own thing. Howdy do, pals. That doesn't quite work, does it? No. The Masters starts tomorrow. If you're looking for big name groups, you can wait a while. The first folks to tee off at 6:40 tomorrow morning are a couple of gentlemen, I'm sure, very nice, named John Kiefer and Hao Tong Lee. But that's not what you're getting up at 6:40 for to see the first shots. You really start to see the big names around 8:30, 8:43. Dustin Johnson, Shane Lowry, Jason Day. That's a pretty notable group. 9:07 Central, really notable group. Bryson DeChambeau, Matt Fitzpatrick, and Xander Schauffele. Rory goes off, the defending champ, at 9:31 with Cameron Young and amateur Mason Howell. As far as the professional sports franchise of Topeka, Kansas goes, you're going to have a chance to see a lot of him because he's going to be one of the featured groups because he's playing with Scotty. 12:44 Central Time tee-off for G-Dub's group, Gary Woodland, Scotty Scheffler, and my big beefy southpaw from Scotland, Bobby Mack.
You got to watch it on Amazon Prime, though.
Yes, it is on Amazon Prime this year. They did move it.
Not happy about that.
So the first couple of round coverage will be on Amazon Prime instead of ESPN Plus or Paramount, which is, one, it's a bummer, but my wife's a teacher, which means we have Amazon Prime. So
that's true. I don't have it. I don't have it connected to my device.
Swing by the office tomorrow. I'll have it on.
That's true.
Just come by my office.
I'll hop in at 1:44 and watch them tee off.
There you go. Yeah, we'll have it on tomorrow during the day. I have correctly identified the Masters winner each of the last 3 years. And I'll be frank, it has not taken like going out on a limb. I asked this question going into the Masters. Who is the best player playing the best? 3 years ago it was Jon Rahm and he won the thing. 2 years ago it was Scotty Scheffler and he won the thing. Last year, it was probably also Scheffler, but also it felt like McIlroy's time. I made the pick a little bit hesitantly, but Rory came through. Boy, he about made a mess of it, but he came through, winning on the first hole of the playoff to finally complete the career Grand Slam. So it feels a little less cut and dried this year. Scheffler has been in and out of the of his game, hasn't won since January. Rory McIlroy's been dealing with a back issue. Bryson DeChambeau and Jon Rahm are playing great over on the Live Tour, but that's pitch and putt golf. It doesn't count. How does that translate? DeChambeau was in the final group on Sunday last year. Rahm's won the thing before. And again, both of them, relative to the competition and the courses they're playing, are kicking ass over on Live. But how much does that translate to Augusta? So with all those questions, I try to come back to my guiding principle. Who is the best player playing the best? Friends, sorry, Jim Nance. I guess I owe him $12.50. Friends, now I owe him the full 25. I'm going with the Swede, Ludvig Åberg, to win the 2026 Masters. The former Texas Tech Red Raider, plus 1,700 at FanDuel to win it all. Big Vig has finished in the top 5 each of the last 3 tournaments he's played in. And I think this matters, he played last week. He played at the Valero, finished T5. Only 2 of the last 20 champs and none of the last 11 took more than a week off before the Masters. So, the rest versus rust argument, you could say rust has really come into play the last 2 decades. Scheffler hasn't played in a month. McIlroy hasn't played in a month. The Live guys haven't played in 2+ weeks either. Åberg has 2 top 10s in his first 2 Masters appearances. He was in the hunt on Sunday 2 years ago. He's the pick for me this week. I'm going with Ludvig Åberg to win the Masters. You heard it here first. Big Vig, he's going to do it. He tees off, by the way, if you're curious, at 12:08 tomorrow with Jon Rahm and Chris Gotterup. And speaking of Chris Gotterup, got some other picks for you. I like Gotterup this weekend to finish top 10. It's his Masters debut. So that's always iffy, right? To pick a guy to finish high if it's his first time at Augusta. But Gotterup's had a great year. He's already won 4 times on the tour in like the last 2 years. And I think the golf course, the way it's going to play this week, given the weather, it's going to be a little dry, going to be a little crispy. I think it suits Gotterup's game. I've got Gotterup top 10 plus 340 at FanDuel. And I'll also take Gotterup plus 500 as the top debutant for the week. The best player making his Masters debut. Plus 500 on that. Top 20 picks. My guy Akshay. Lefties set up well at Augusta. Historically, the way the course sets up. Lefties set up well at Augusta. Akshay is the lefty in the best form right now. He won a couple of months ago. I like Akshay in the top 20, plus 140 on FanDuel. I've also got Akshay to finish as the top left-hander, plus 230. Means I got him beating Bobby Mack. Means I got him beating old Mike Weir. I think he is playing. No Phil Mickelson this week. He's not there. So I got Akshay, top lefty and top 20 finish. I got Jason Day in the top 20 as well. Got a feeling about him. He was T8 in Houston. Seems to always play pretty well in the majors. He's had a good run of form last few years. I go Jason Day plus 155 in the top 20. And one last pick for you. I'm picking him to win, so naturally I'm picking Ludwig to be the top European player, plus 650 odds on that.
I'm just going to throw out a name here. I'm not as obviously good as you are with the last 3 years.
Well, I mean, who is, right?
Yeah,
I mean, they don't call me America's.
They
don't call me America's leading Masters tout for nothing. But go ahead.
John Rahm.
Rambo, very popular pick, playing really, really well.
I just got a feeling
he's already won a Masters. He's playing well on the Pitch and Giggle tour, the Blood Money Bone Saw tour. I don't hate the pick by any means. It really is wide open this year.
Yeah.
Like, I thought the last 3 years, it was pretty cut and dry. Like, oh, there is a clear favorite. And even though Scheffler's the clear money favorite this year, he hasn't played like to that level, and he's been dealing with an injury. And his wife just had their third kid, I think, or second or third. But they just had like the kiddo is like a month old, not even that. So I know he ain't sleeping. So I'm a little iffy on Scheffler. Like, I think he'll be good because he always is. He'll be in the hunt because he always is. But I can't back the favorite this year. Going with Ludwig Oberg. That's my pick to win the Masters. These picks are for entertainment purposes only. Do not sue me if I get one wrong. It will be an accident because I've proven my track record. My track record speaks for itself.
Yeah.
America's leading Masters tout has spoken. We'll take a break. We'll come back with the final word. Time to put a wrap on today's edition of 580 Sports Talk with a final word. To begin, we go with newly minted hard-boiled egg enjoyer, Spencer Dupuis. Spencer.
That just threw me off my train of thought there. But Alec Zumwalt, your days are numbered, man. You can't be allowing your guys to strike out 14 times. You got to get on them. They're professional athletes, but you're a hitting coach. You are a hitting coach and you lead them all. There's no reason there should be 14 strikeouts in a 3-game series. And the talent on this team, at least the top end talent. And I get there's certain games where you're going to pitch or you're going to hit different people, but man, that bottom of the lineup today did not look good without Kyle Isbell. And I get it why you're moving guys around with the pitching that you're seeing, but man, put Kyle Isbell, get 9 Kyle Isbells and we'll be good.
A sentence that no one has ever said about the Kansas City Royals offense. Yeah, it says something when he's carrying the freight. None of the big guys are doing it right now. Made for a very frustrating trip to Cleveland. Final word for me today. I guess I got two. I'll split the hairs here. My first final word, Chiefs related. We did mock draft Wednesday in the 4:00 hour. I'm fascinated by the thought that the Chiefs could move up and maybe spend their second round pick to get further into the top 10. If there's a prospect they really don't want to miss out on, I really think that could be something they could do. If they package the 9 and the 40, I think that could give them a chance to maybe get up to 4 and 5 in this draft where there's just not that much consensus on what things are going to look like after number 1. If you want to make sure you get whichever edge prospect you like best, or whichever wide receiver prospect you like best. And I do think those are the two highest priority positions that the Chiefs have to address in this NFL draft. Then trading up, I think, could make a whole lot of sense. The other part of my final word today. Yes, the Royals lost today. They dropped to 5-7 overall. They're two games, I guess, below 500. You know who is a 500 baseball team as of today? The Colorado Rockies. They beat the brakes off the Houston Astros today, 9-1. They swept the Astros. That's their first home sweep in 2 years. And this is the latest that the Rockies have been 500 in a season since May of 2022.
Book them World Series.
I'm just saying the vibes are high. I'm just saying the vibes might be back at the corner of 20th and Blake in Denver. Just think of how obnoxious I'd be if they were actually good. We're back tomorrow from 3 until 6. For Spencer, I'm Dan. This is 580 Sports Talk on WIBW. Good night.